Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Om Gyanati Mirandasya. Gina Shalakya Chakshur Umritamena Tasmai Shigurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Obistam Stapit Mena Butale. Swam Pakadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shiguru Shutpadakamalam Shigurun Vishvamcha. Ширупам съграждам Сагна Рагунатам Витам Там Садживам с двайтам Савдутам Парична Схитам Кришна Чистяня Девам Ширата Кришна Падан Сахагана Олита Шивишакан Витам Шча Хей Кришна Каруна Синду Дина Банду Джагатпате Гопеша Гопика Канта Рада Канта на мостоте Тапта Канчна Горанге Раде Врингванешвари Вриша Панусоте Деви Пранамами Хари Прие Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutala Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Tomorrow, on Saturday, the 18th of March, is Papadopani Ekadashi, and on Sunday, the 19th of March, is Sri Govinda Ghosh Disappearance Day. So I will try to read something for these two events. Papadopani, Papamochani, not Papadopani, sorry. Papamochani Ekadashi. Papamochani Ekadashi. Oh, did I write Papadopani? Oh my god. Okay, Papamochani Ekadashi. Papamochani Ekadashi. Okay. Sorry if I'm not sure what I have written in the video. Papamochani Ekadashi, not Papadopani. Sorry. Papamochani Ekadashi it is called. Yes. So, Папамочни Екадаши. Shri Yudhishthira Maharaj said, O Supreme Lord, I have heard from you the explanation of Amalaki Ekadashi, which occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Palguna, February, March. And now I wish to hear about the Ekadashi that occurs during the dark fortnight of the month of Chaitra, April. March, April. What is its name, O Lord, and what results can one attain by observing it? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, replied, replied, O best of kings, for the benefit of everyone, I shall gladly describe to you the glories of this Ekadashi, which is known as Papamochani. The history of this Ekadashi was once narrated to the Emperor Mandata by Lamasa Rishi. King Mandata addressed the Rishi, O great sage, for the benefit of all people, please tell me the name of the Ekadashi that occurs during the dark fortnight of the month of Chaitra. And please explain the process of observing it. Also, please describe the benefits one gains by observing this Ekadashi. Lomasa Rishi replied, The Ekadashi that occurs during the dark part of the month of Chaitra is named Papamochani Ekadashi. For the faithful devotee, it removes the influences of ghosts and demons, or lion among men. This Ekadashi also awards the 8 perfections of life, fulfills all kinds of desires, purifies one's life of all sinful reactions, and makes a person perfectly virtuous. Now, please listen to a historical account concerning this Ekadashi and Chitrarata. The chief, this Ekadashi and Chitrarata, the chief of the Gandharvas, heavenly musicians. So this is the history of this Ekadashi. Papamochani Ekadashi is obviously connected with some story connected with Chitrarata, the chief of the Gandharvas, the heavenly musicians. During the spring season, in the company of heavenly dancing girls, Chitrarata, Chitrarata once came upon a beautiful forest bursting forth with a great variety of flowers. There he and the girls joined the Gandharvas and many Kinnaras, along with Lord Indra himself. What are these Kinnaras? Very interesting. So, there he and the girls joined the Gandharvas and many Kinnaras, along with Lord Indra himself, the king of heaven, who was enjoying a visit there. Everyone felt that there was no better garden than this forest. Many sages were also present, performing their austerities and penances. The demigods particularly enjoyed visiting this celestial garden during the months of Chaitra and Vaishakha, April, May. A great sage named Medavi resided in that forest, and the very attractive dancing girls would always attempt to seduce him. One famous girl in particular, Manjugosha, contrived many ways to allure the exalted Muni. But out of great respect for the sage and fear of his power, which he had attained after years and years of ascetics, she would not come very close to him. So I personally don't understand what this girl wanted from that person, but now let's concentrate on the text and see what is written here further. Okay. At a spot 2 miles from the sage, she pitched a tent and began singing very sweetly as she played a tambura. Cupid himself became excited when he saw and heard her perform so nicely and smelled the fragrance of her um, sandal paste unguent. The fragrance of her sandal paste. He remembered his own unfortunate experience with Lord Shiva and decided to take revenge by seducing Medavi. So there is some footnote, maybe there is described this uh, story with Lord Shiva. We all know this story. I will read it anyway. So footnote 1. Footnotes, the first one. So after Lord Shiva lost his dear wife Sati in the sacrificial arena of Prajapati Daksha, Shiva destroyed the entire arena. Then he brought his father-in-law, Daksha, back to life by giving him the head of a goat, and finally he sat down to meditate for 60,000 years. Lord Brahma, however, arranged for Kamadeva Cupid to come and break Shiva's meditation using his arrows of sound, taste, touch, sight, and smell. Cupid attacked Shiva, who at last awoke from his trance. He was so angry of being disturbed that he instantly burned Cupid to ashes with a glance from his third eye. Back to the story. So, that's back to the story. So, back to the story. Maybe it was a button. So, um, but it is now part from the text. Don't know why. So, this story was okay. He instantly burned Cupid to ashes with a glance from his third eye. So, this was footnote 1, and this words back to the story is obviously the button. It should be a button actually, in order one to go back from where we were with this footnote 1. Okay, let's see where it was. Just a moment. Yes. Okay. Using the eyebrows of Madhugosha as a bow, her glances as a bowstring, her eyes as arrows, and her breasts as a target, Cupid approached Medavi in order to tempt him to break his trance and his vows. So let us see. Yes, okay. In other words, Cupid engaged Manjugosha as his assistant. So this is this girl, Manjugosha, and Cupid engaged her as his assistant. And when she looked at that powerful and attractive young sage, she also became agitated by lust. seeing that he was highly intelligent, seeing that he was highly intelligent and learned so. This thing will obviously not finish in a good way, but let us continue to read what is written here in this text. Yeah. Seeing that he was highly intelligent and learned, seeing that he was highly intelligent and learned, wearing a clean white Brahmana thread draped across his shoulder, holding a sannyasi staff with white cloth but sannyasi staff, and sitting handsomely in the ashram of Chavana Rishi, Manjugosha came before him. She began to sing, and the small bells of her belt and around her ankles, together with the bangles on her wrists, produced a delightful musical symphony. The sage Madhavi was enchanted. He understood that this beautiful young woman desired union with him, and at that instant and Cupid increased his attraction for Manjugosh by releasing his powerful weapons of taste, touch, sight, smell, and sound. Slowly Manjugosha approached Medavi. Her bodily movements and sweet glances attracting him. She gracefully put her tambura down and embraced the sage with her two arms, just as a creeper winds itself around a strong tree. Captivated, Medavi gave up his meditation and decided to sport with her, and instantly his purity of heart and mind abandoned him, forgetting even the difference between night and day. He went away with her to sport for a long, long time. Sport. This word sport is very strangely used here. I don't know what English is that, but somehow strange. Okay. Now there's again a footnote too. So things are going in a bad way, no? So footnote two, very interesting. Here, just here. Female association is so powerful that a man forgets his time, energy, possessions. Oh, really? I don't think they forget anything. And even his own identity. Oh, really? I don't think so. Maybe this is for some in some other times, and um, today the men are not in this way. Sorry, this is absolutely not what is the reality. Sorry. So let's still continue to read. As it is said in the Niti Shastra, in some Shastri said something very interesting. Striya Charitram Purushasya Bhabhyam Taivo Vijanati Kuto Manushyah. So if it is said, we have to believe now. Let's see what is said. So there is some kind of translation here. Nobody knows if it is right, but let us see what is written. Even the demigods cannot predict the behavior of a woman. Oh, really? Ah, very interesting. Why not? Why not? Nor can they understand the fortune of a man or how it will determine his destiny. Oh, really? So they just uh they just they uh, are worrying only about the men. It seems nobody's worrying about the woman. It's interesting, no? Let us see what is written further. According to Yanavalkya Muni, a celibate person who desires spiritual life should give up all association with women. Ah, interesting. Including thinking of them, seeing them, talking with them in a secluded place, taking service from them, or having sexual intercourse with them. So, having sexual relationships, yes, they have to give up having sexual relationships with women, yes, but um, how this person will not talk with the women? Very interesting. If he gives, if he goes on the street um, and wants to, for example, sell books, and the woman come, if she's a woman, he will maybe not sell the book to her, or how is it? So no, these things are very just very um, uh, there for the nowadays are not right. Sorry. Let's see what is written further here. So I'm sorry that I began to read this this strange story. This is just really something strange. I don't understand what it's all about. Just want to say all the time that the women are bad and the men are good. Sorry, this is not the right thing. This is not. It's just not the reality. What is happening? So let us see where I was. Just a moment. Yes. So let's continue with this interesting story. So, seeing that the young yogi, yogi, that the young yogi's sanctity had become seriously eroded. Oh, oh, such a big problem now. Manjugosha decided to stay with decided to abandon him and return home. Ah, interesting decision. Okay, interesting. Okay, she said, "Oh, great one, please permit me to return home." Medevi replied, "But you have only just arrived, oh beautiful one. Please stay with me at least until tomorrow." Fearful of the sage's yogi power, Majugosha stayed with Medevi for precisely 57 years. 57 years. Ah, interesting. No. So this is uh, interesting. 57 years. Can you imagine? 57 years. Ah, 57 years, 9 months, and 3 days. Oh, but to Medevi, all this time seemed like a moment. No one doubt. Let's see what's going on further. Again, she asked him, "Please permit me to leave." Medevi replied, "Oh, dear one, listen to me. Stay with me for one more night, and then you may leave tomorrow morning. Just stay with me until I have performed my morning duties and chanted the sacred Gayatri mantra. Please wait until then." Manjugosha was still fearful of the sage's great yogi power, but she forced a smile and said, "How long will it take you to finish your morning hymns and rituals? Please be merciful and think of all the time you have already spent with me." The sage reflected on the years he had been with Manjugosha and then said with great astonishment, "Why? I have spent more than 57 years with you." 57 years. So if they were, just a moment, let's stop for a moment. Just imagine these are some things which are from other times anyway, because imagine they were maybe, let us say, these two persons were maybe 20 years old, let's say. So 57 years after that, they both of them must be already um, about 8 years old, both of them. So in our um, if this if this story was from the time uh, which is a little bit like the time we live in at the moment, these two persons are about 80 years old. Just imagine. This story is not from our times, obviously. So also, All the rules from these times are not from this time, from our time, for our time. Then the story itself is not for our time. It's not about our time. That then obviously also the rules which are um, described are have nothing to do with our life today, with the time where we live at the moment. So this story has nothing to do with us, my dear friends, it seems. But let us see what is written further in this story. Sorry, yes. So both of them are about 80. Interesting. Okay. So let's read further still. Why? I have spent more than 57 years with you. His eyes turned red and began to emanate sparks. Oh, he became angry. Oh, how terrible, no? Let us see. He now regarded Manjugosha as death personified and the destroyer of his spiritual life. Oh, very interesting. Yes. So, this so called Rishi, very, very fast, he becomes angry. Just see somebody says no to him, he becomes angry. Very interesting. Good character, no? Uh-huh. Let us see what is written further. Uh-huh. Um, and the destroyer of his spiritual life. You rascal woman. Oh, you rascal woman, he says. You have turned all the hard earned results of my austerities to ashes. Oh, trembling with anger, he cursed Manjugosha. O sinful one, O hard hearted, degraded one. You know only sin, may all terrible fortune um, may all terrible fortune by yours. O rascal woman, I curse you to become an evil hobgoblin. Pishacha. Cursed by the sage Medavi, the beautiful Majugosha humbly beseeched him. O best of the Brahmanas, please be merciful to me and revoke your curse. O great one, it is said that association with pure devotees gives immediate results, but she's not associating with a pure devotee. He's not a pure devotee. My God, this story makes me a little bit crazy, no? Let us see what is written further. Oh, great one! It is said that association with pure devotees gives immediate results, but their curses take effect only after 7 days. Oh, I have been with you for 57 years. Oh, master, so please be kind to me. Medavi Muni replied, Oh, gentle lady, what can I possibly do? You have destroyed all my austerities, but even though you have done this sinful deed, I shall tell you a way. You can be released from my wrath. In the dark fortnight of the month of Chaitra, there is an all auspicious Ekadashi that removes all one's sins. Its name is Papamochani, or beautiful one. Ah, now she's beautiful again, it seems. Huh? Or beautiful one. And whoever fasts on this sacred day becomes completely freed from having to take birth in any kind of devilish form. With these words, the sage left at once for his father's ashram. Seeing him enter the Hermitage. Giovanna said, "O son, by acting unlawfully, you have squandered the wealth of your penances and austerities." It's very interesting. His father, uh, if the father is, let's say, 20 years older than the son, then he's about 100, and the son is about 80. So this story is about times which has have nothing to do with the time now. In these times, the persons were living in another way, and they were getting much more older than in our days. So this story has nothing to do with with our time. Sorry, not really. But let's see what's written further here. So, dear son, you must fast on Papamochni Ekadashi. Ne. Oh, son, uh, by acting unlawfully, you have squandered the wealth of your penances and austerities. Medvedev replied, "Oh, father, kindly reveal what atonement I must perform to remove the obnoxious sin I have incurred by privately associating with the dancing girl Manjugosha." Chyavanamuni answered, "Dear son, you must fast on Papamochani Ekadashi, which occurs during the dark fortnight of the month of Chaitra. It eradicates all sins, no matter how grievously they may be." Medavi followed his father's advice and fasted on Papamochani Ekadashi. Thus all his sins were destroyed, and he again became filled with excellent merit. Oh, very nice for him. Okay, let us see further what is written. Similarly, Manjugosha observed the same fast and became free of the um, hobgoblin curse. She became free from the curse. Oh, this is something good. Yes, okay. What's written further? Ascending once again to the heavenly spheres, she too returned to her former position. Lomasha Rishi continued, "Thus, O king, the great benefit of fasting on Papamochni Ekadashi is that whoever does so with faith and devotion will have all his sins completely destroyed." Shri Krishna concluded, "O King Yudhishthira, whoever reads or hears about Papamochni Ekadashi obtains the embryo obtains the very same merit. So, okay, whoever reads or hears about Papamochnik obtains the very same merit he would get if he donated 1,000 cows in charity. 1,000 cows, just imagine. And he also nullifies the sinful reactions he may have incurred by killing a Brahmana, killing an embryo through abortion, drinking liquor, having sex with his guru's wife. Such is the incalculable benefit of properly observing this holiday of Papamochani Ekadashi, which is so dear to me and so meritorious. Thus ends the narration of the glories of Chaitra Krishna Ekadashi or Papamochani Ekadashi from the Bhavishya Uttara Purana. So this is from some uh, Purana from Bhavishya Uttara Purana. So this Purana obviously describes times which are um, very old times when the persons were living much for longer and in a totally different way compared to our life now. So, but still, let's see. It seems Papadopani Ekadashi is a very beautiful Ekadashi, very nice Ekadashi, which if one fasts, one obviously, um, if Krishna has the mercy of that, um, the sins are destroyed through this fast, obviously. Okay, so let's see what's the other thing what I wanted to read here. So, yes, this was um, the text which I found about Sri Govinda Ghosh on Sunday is his disappearance day. So, Sri Govinda Ghosh was known for his sweet kirtans at the annual Jagannath Ratha Yatra festival. Sri Govinda Ghosh was known for his sweet kirtans at the annual Jagannath Ratha Yatra festival. He and his two brothers, Vasudeva and Madhava, are eternal associates of Sri Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda. The Lord would immediately begin dancing whenever the Ghosh brothers would sing. The Ghosh brothers preached throughout their lives with music and song. Since he had no children, Govinda wondered who would perform his funeral rites. Sri Gopinatha, Govinda Ghosh's deity, appeared in a dream, promising that he himself would do everything. Still today, the Gopinatha deity arranges for the Tirubhava Mahotsava, the Disappearance Day festival of his pure devotee Govinda Ghosh. As Kalavati Saki, Govinda Ghosh sings sweetly from Radha Govindaji in Goloka Vrindavana. His samadhis in the 64 samadhis area. So we see how um, this person, which is one of the eternal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Gora Lila, he has also a spiritual body in Goloka Vrindavan as a gopi. Kalavati Saki is written here. So we see how um, the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on this earth planet in year 1486 and all the and all the leelas and stories and which were happening during the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Gorilla. And also Sri Shikshastaka, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have spoken in the 16th century. All these uh, the whole Lila of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has actually nothing to do with this time, which is described, for example, in this story. Um, in this story from Bhavishya Uttara Purana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and brought Krishna consciousness to on this planet. That means love, and this has nothing to do with this strange story which we heard about Papadopani Ekadashi. Of course, this Ekadashi itself, of course, it has its power. We have to fast on this day. All that is true, surely. But the nowadays are different from these times. The nowadays are also different from the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was living on this earth planet in the 16th century, in the 15th and 16th century. But still, our time now is much more closer to the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in this way, we must be very thankful to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu. They came on this earth planet to show us really what is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is actually uh, love, love to God and to all people. And and this is shown in every verse of Shri Shikshastaka which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has spoken in the 16th century. This love. And which is actually Krishna consciousness. This is actually love. Yes. And as we all know how it is written in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and in all the also in other books, it is written that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually in his personality are the divine couple themselves there. The divine couple, Srimati Radhika and Shri Krishna, are both in the personality of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he is actually incarnation of Krishna himself, of the Lord himself, but also in his heart is the mood of Srimati Radhika. So in his great love to Srimati Radhika, Shri Krishna wanted to also have her love and her complexion. He, in her mercy to Shri Krishna, Srimati Radhika has given to him as a present her complexion, her golden complexion, and her love, Madanakya Mahabhav, the highest love in all the worlds, the love of Srimati Radhika to Shri Krishna. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has in his heart the love of Srimati Radhika. In this way, because of the mercy of Srimati Radhika, he has this love in his heart. Because Srimati Radhika loves him so much that she wanted to give him this love. He wanted this love. He wanted to taste this mood, and he begged from Srimati Radhika to have this love, to be able to feel her love. And Srimati Radhika, in her great love, she gave this love to Krishna. So in this way, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the Lord has in his heart the mood of love to God, the mood of love of a pure devotee to Sri Krishna. So in this way, in every verse of Sri Shikshastaka is this mood of separation from the Lord, of crying of a pure devotee separation from the Lord. And so there is in every verse Madanakya Mahabhav or Unata Ujvala Rasa, and at the same time also the love of any other pure devotee to Shri Krishna is there, also in every verse of Shri Shastaka. But at the same time also the love of Srimati Radhika to Shri Krishna, the highest love in all the worlds, Madanakya Mahabhav. So let us see, for example, verse 4. Dadam Janna Sundarim Kavitam Vajagadishkamaye Mamayan Manyan Manishvre Bhavatat Bhaktir Haitukitvai. Dam Jan Sundarim Kavitam Vajagadishkamaye Mamayan Manyan Manishvre Bhavatat Bhaktir Haitukitvai. Dam Jan Sundarim Dadam Jan Sundarim Kavitam Vajagadishkamaye Mamayan Manyan Manishvre Bhavatat Bhaktir Haitukitvai. Dadam Jan Sundarin Kavitam Vajagadishkamaye Mamayan Manyan Manishvre Bhavatat Bhaktir Haitukitvai. Oh, my Lord, I don't need spiritual knowledge expressed through poetical language. I don't need worldly opulence. I don't need. I don't need. Oh Lord, I don't need followers. Oh Lord, I don't need family members. Oh my Lord, my only prayer is, oh my Lord, my only prayer is that life by life, life after life, I will be engaged in unadulterated devotional service. I will be engaged in favorable devotional service to you, O Lord. This is, O Lord, my only prayer, is said in verse 4 of Sri Shikshastaka. So we see what love is that. A love of a pure devotee to the Lord, to Sri Krishna. This has nothing to do with the fear of that girl from this Brahmana and these things. It has nothing to do with the um, with the um, with the way how this Brahmana was cursing this girl, which we heard from this story for Papadopani Ekadashi. So these feelings which are described in Shri Shikshastakam have nothing to do with these things which were described in this story for Papadopani Ekadashi. From this Bhavishya Uttara Purana. The feelings of a pure devotee to the Lord have nothing to do with these things. We have heard now in verse 4 of Shikshastaka what a love is that to the Lord. This is a love of a pure devotee to the Lord Krishna. And as we know, the highest devotee, the highest pure devotee, the topmost pure devotee is Srimati Radhika, which is described in the verse 10 of Shri Rupa Dashamrita of Srila Rupa Goswami. And also the next So the topmost pure devotee Shrimati Radhika, after her are the other gopis of Vrindavan. And also there are other persons who are also pure devotees to the Lord. But we see how the love of a pure devotee to the Lord has nothing to do with these strange feelings which are described there from this Bhavishya Uttara Purana, because um, because the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come in the end of the 15th century and has spoken Shastakam in the 16th century, and there is described the pure love of a pure devotee to the Lord. Really, that is what we have to follow. Of course, we cannot just begin to follow this um, this pure love. We have to actually find teachers which can instruct us in Rupanuga Bhakti. Teachers who are from the disciplic succession of um, Guru disciple in Rupanuga Bhakti. You have to find such teachers, Diksha Guru and Shiksha Gurus, and in this way we can, if we have the desire about that, we can learn how we can uh, serve the divine couple Shrimati Radhika and Shri Krishna in such a way that they will be happy and satisfied. Thank you so much for your attention. Um, this As you all know, I'm not qualified on these topics, so I'm not trying to instruct anybody. I'm just trying to understand these things, and um, of course, one had to try to understand this Vedic literature and comments on the Vedic literature under the guidance of teachers, under the guidance of Diksha Gurus and Shiksha Gurus, all of you who are mm, Vaishnavas in the disciplic succession of Rupanuga Bhakti. You are all my gurus. I pay obeisance to you. Dandavat pranam, vanchkalpatrupascha, kripasthupevaccha, patitam pavanebhyo vishnavebhyo namo namaha. I'm sorry if I was not really um, I it was maybe not so nice how I was talking, but I say again, I'm not qualified on these topics. I'm just trying to understand these things. Yes, okay. Thanks so much for your attention.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahladaladayana Hiranyakashipu Shilatankanakalaya Yaton Rishiho, Parato Rishiho, Yato Yato Yamita Ton Rishiho, Pahinishiho, Hridaya Rishiho, Drishimhamadim Sharandam Prapadya.
Tava cara kamalavara
Nakama Pudashinga Talita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa
Keshavadrita
Marariru Jagadishara Jaya Jagadishara Jaya Jagadishara Jaya Jagadishara Jaya Jagadishara
Shri Nrsimha Jai Nrsimha Jai Nrsimha Dev Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Shri Nrsimha Jai Nrsimha Jaya Jai Nrsimha Dev Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Shri Nrsimha Jai Nrsimha Jaya Jai Nrsimha Dev Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Shri Nrsimha Jai Nrsimha Jaya Jai Nrsimha Dev Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Jaya
Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Nrsimha Prahlad Nrsimha Prahlad Nrsimha Jaya Prahlad Nrsimha Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jai Gaurnitai, Jai Gaurnitai, Jai Gaurnitai, Jai Shri Shri Gaurnitai. Radhe Radhe Radha Madhava Radhe Gopinath Shri Radhe Radha Madhava Radha Gopinath Radha Gokulananda Shri Radha Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you so much for your attention. Hare Krishna.